Okay, again, welcome. 28th of April, 8 p.m. Traders Club session. This is recorded. We do have the news at 8:30 for the US GDP number. I'll try and go through that as well. I don't actually at this point now, as much as for the whole week, I've been saying that it's likely to move or to cause the dollar to retrace at this point with the way the dollar is moving. I don't think it'll do too much. So I'm not too particular about trying to trade that news, but we possibly will have a lot of other trade ideas to be shared tonight, right? So if you are watching us on YouTube, this is shared 1 week later. So we only upload it or make it public 1 week later. Traders Club members get it almost immediately if they can't jump onto this call at this time. So if you're not already a club member, make sure you join up. With that said, some couple of things to share as well. Next week, well, it's coming to a super long weekend. Monday is a public holiday, Tuesday is a public holiday. So club members, remember, no currency call on Monday and Tuesday, and no night session on Tuesday as well. So just a little bit of a break for me, and also, just so that give you a chance to miss a session there. So with that, let's do this. Any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of myself, so please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Right, then coming to the news. Does anyone, just a show of hands, put it in the chat if you're on a Zoom call right now, do you want me to go through the details of the Bank of Japan news? If you want me to go through that, say yes. If you don't want me to go through that, you've already seen the video from this morning, then say no. All right. Summary of BOJ. Yes, please. Yes, please. You guys are supposed to watch the currency call video, which is uploaded already, right? So, but I'll be nice. So at 11 a.m., I was actually doing somewhat of an analysis on the yen already. Then the news got released during our currency call. The Bank of Japan with their outlook report, the monetary policy statement, and their policy rate, right? So as I was saying before it started, I said that policy rate didn't expect it to change, to stay at minus 0.1%. Outlook report, generally, I don't pay too much attention to it as well. The big impact, where it all starts moving is from the monetary policy statement. So just to go through that with you all, because you asked so nicely, first I'll open up the previous one, and then I'll open up this current one. So I'll show you that the main things that you pay attention to when you look at the Bank of Japan's policy, statement of policy, monetary policy, is the numbers. A lot of all this don't change. It doesn't change that much. The main thing to look out for is it stays at a minus 0.1%. And then here, this is the previous month. This is in March where they released it. It said the bank will purchase a necessary amount of Japanese government bonds, JGBs, without setting an upper limit, so that 10-year JGB yields will remain at around 0%. 10-year yields at 0%. Then the next things you pay attention to is whether they're going to purchase more ETFs and J-REITs. At this point, it's 12 trillion and 180 billion yen. And then with their pandemic stimulus, it was 2 trillion and 3 trillion yen for corporate bonds. Look at this month, then the rest I don't even bother reading because I skip through all that. By the time, if there's any change in these numbers, this one's here, this one's in particular, and also this one's here, that will move the yen, not anything else that follows. So I don't read all that behind. I just focus on that. This month, See, same thing, 81, no change. Minus 0.1%, no change. But, and this one's a bit different, the bank will purchase the necessary amount of Japanese government bonds, JGBs, without setting an upper limit so that the 10-year JGB yields will remain at 0%. Wait, oh no, wait, here. Clarification of how it conducts its fixed rates purchase. The bank will offer to purchase 10-year JGBs at 0.25% every business day through fixed rate purchase, unless it's highly likely that no bids will be submitted, right? So they're buying 10-year bonds at 0.25% with a 0.25% yield. And like we spoke about and then the rest of the numbers are all the same. As we spoke about on Tuesday night when I went through the relationship between yield, bond yields and rates and currency rates. Basically, as yield increases, rates get, the currencies gets weaker, right? Because people start thinking, hey, I might as well put it in there and get more, no, as yield increases, then we see the currency get weaker, right? So with that, just that news alone, what happened was we saw the US yen do that, right? So looking at it on the H1 time frame at 11 o'clock, at 11 a.m. there, straight away once that news came out and all we saw was 10-year bonds at 0.25% yield, unlimited buying every day, this shot up. That within the 1 hour move was a good 118 pips towards the upside. 118 pips towards the upside. You would have missed the call this morning. So my first analysis was, hey, look for it to buy it up towards the 130 level. I was anticipating for it to break above 130. The talk was for 135. I didn't think it would get to 135. I thought 132 would be likely or reasonable. But what actually happened with the yen was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, it went almost, it got to 131, and then now we've seen it come back down and sit in consolidation. All right, so that big move towards the upside straight away, we saw the yen push higher. My view here is that we're likely to see the yen push up again, but, and this was a second view, was that if it breaks above 130, you can see further upside towards 132. This is a long-term trade. I think that we can see it push up, but it needs, at this point right now, needs to break above that 131 level. Right, it needs to break above that 131 level before we can see any big further upside towards 132. And you can see that if you get into the habit of putting these lines, it helps you trigger your trades. In this case, putting a line there straight away, once it breaks, you can look to trade it up towards the 131. Once it breaks, you can look to trade it up towards the 132 level. Just to share with you some of the trades that I got into for the US yen. Where is it? I got into the US yen, let me find it, at 129.84. So I got in at 129.84 at about, it's a different time on MT4. So about that point there, 129.84, about that point, as it was approaching that 130 level, right? Why I didn't get into at this points here, we were doing the currency call. So currency call ended at about that level there. Then what I did was I actually had a line, I put in another line about that point because I saw it hit, and this was actually on M1, but it gets a bit messy. It hit and then it started turning back down again. So I started thinking, okay, if it's going to break above the recent high or the point where it retraced back down from, then I'm going to start to buy it up. So what I did was put a line there at 129.84. So at about there, I got in. As it broke up, I got into that trade. And let me move this aside. I did a 30 pip stop loss and 30 pip take profit level, right? So 30 to 30, pretty much straight away. So it did that. It went up very quickly, broke above that line, hit, and I'm out. Got out of that trade, right? Then the next trade I looked into almost immediately was at 130.15. So again, I've been drawing lines on my MT4 just to go, where's the high point? Where did it retrace back from? Once it breaks, can I get in? So I moved this line up. The next one was 130.15. So I think I had that line there and said, if it breaks above this point, I'm going to get into the trade. So at about 130.15, it looked like, you can see that that candle was trying to push up, push higher. So I actually anticipated that move, got into that trade. Again, 30 pip, so at about 13 there, 30 pip stop loss. Okay, 30 pip stop loss and 30 pip, wait, I did the wrong one. At that point, 30 pip stop loss and 30 pip take profit. Straight away, within the next 15 minutes, hit my take profit and I'm out, right? And I'm very happy I got out with this news. So one thing I want to try and get you guys to start thinking about, especially for the yen pairs, and during big news events with all the prices moving towards historic high levels or historic low levels, try and get into that habit. You could be looking at that 30 pip stop, 30 pip take, or 30 pip stop, 40 pip take profit level. Just hit, get out, reevaluate whether you want to get into that trade, next trade again. So what happened here was that it hit. Very happy it hit, because the next moments, it came all the way back down again. Sure, it didn't hit my stop loss at this point, but it's still not a nice feeling to be in the money and then out of money again. So I'm very happy that I had two trades, 60 pips there, got out, right? What happened next was that I was actually sitting there and I missed, oops, I'll take that away. I missed that next trade, right? I missed that next trade because, again, same thing, I put in that level and I was thinking, okay, if it breaks above that level, I'm going to look to buy again. At that point, I was not looking at the charts, so I missed that trade. Then when I looked at it again, I was looking at it as it was retracing from 130.75. So I was looking, so I missed that trade there. Then I had the next line at 130.75 at about there. And I was thinking that because it broke up, then once it broke up, it started turning back down. I was thinking if it breaks higher from this point, so instead of breaking down, if it breaks higher from this point, I would look to buy. This is all on the 1 minute time frame. It didn't. So it didn't break higher, didn't buy, and it shot all the way back down. So I was super happy there, because if I did buy and having a 30 pip stop, it would have hit me out, closed me out. This was a 49 pip move towards the downside. So very happy I didn't buy there. Then again, I missed out on this one because I was on a call at 7 o'clock. Again, so I missed out all those lines. I said, okay, if it breaks above my current point again, that highest point that I got out at, I'll look to buy in. And then I missed that move. I missed that move as it broke higher. And then for the next last hour it's moved up, came very close towards the 131 level. This was again where I was thinking if it breaks above 131, I'll look to buy in, but didn't break above. It came very close, 130.94, retraced back down. Now looking like it's tracking higher again. I wouldn't get into a trade at those points because we're jumping on a call now, so I would be super distracted if I had a trade running, right? So what can you look out for those of you who missed out on the trades for today? So out of this whole thing, I got 60 pips, a very big move. Not very happy that I only got 60 just because I had too many other things to do. 235 pip move towards the upside, but well, I got 60, still hits my target for today. Let's take that away. What you can look out for if you're looking to trade tonight, 9-10 o'clock time, let's look to see whether the US yen is going to break above this 131 level. So same thing, this level there, if it breaks above, this can be on the M15 time frame. I think for everyone attending, I'm looking at you guys. I know how you trade, so I wouldn't tell you to do anything smaller than the M15. I would say on M15 time frame, if it breaks above 131, so at about 131 15, 131.15, again 30 pip stop loss, 30 pip take profit level, a 1:1 risk reward ratio towards the upside. That would be a good 30 pip trade towards the upside. And you know that for the yen pairs, it happens very quickly. It happens that 30 pip move is very quick. And we actually can see a pattern here, a big upward move, a bit of a consolidation, and then a big upward move again, consolidation again, big upward move, retrace, consolidate, upward move. This is a bigger consolidation area, and then a push higher again. So I'm actually looking at this. I know I will miss this trade, but you guys might be able to jump into that. Is now with that consolidation, if it comes towards that 131, I think it's going to break above and shoot up towards that 30 pips very quickly. All right, so straight off, that's the US yen trade ideas for today. Right, what I've been doing this couple of days is actually all this 30 pip stop, 30 pip take profit level kind of trades. With that about the yen, nothing much else until 8:30. Well, in 4 minutes, we have the GDP from the US, advanced GDP from the US. I think that we might see a small retrace, but nothing too significant. Then some other news to pay attention to was also where Kuroda-san came out and said the Japanese economy is advancing as an uptrend. You know, shows that it almost looks like he just says, hey, I'm okay with it weakening. It's going to keep pushing higher. It's okay. It's advancing as an uptrend. So it's still getting better. It's supposed to be getting better. 2 hours and 52 minutes ago, Japanese finance ministry official comes out and says excess volatility is undesirable. Recent moves are extremely worrying. That's one reason why we see that consolidation happening on the yen at this point. But I think because of the divergence between what everyone else is doing and what the Bank of Japan is doing, everyone is increasing rates. Everyone is trying to increase rates to strengthen the currency a little bit more. The yen is actually trying to weaken it. So that divergence is going to likely to push the yen further towards the upside. So any questions so far? If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask or type it into the chat. Is that my usual? No, that's not my usual chart. Okay, so dollar index now at that 103.80 level. This is my usual dollar index. Okay, there you go. So pay attention to the dollar index. You can notice that we just looked at this one is 1 103.68. The one we looked at just then, 103.82. It's crucial. It's a small difference, but it's just how it's being calculated, right? So this Capital Com calculates it differently from TVC, but it's in that general view that the dollar index is pushing higher. This morning, I was thinking that we'll see it hit that 103 level. So this morning, I was saying that it'll come towards 103, consolidate a little bit. Not sure whether it'll move straight up towards 104, but it looks like it's doing that right now. So this is the reason why this big move today for the dollar towards the upside, towards the 104 level. This is the reason why I don't think that the news happening in 1 minute time is going to move against the dollar or move the dollar towards the downside too significantly. Even at that 1.1%, I don't think it will push the dollar down too much. Let's wait and see. All right, clear that out. If you have any questions again, please remember to ask. What's the news? I would be surprised if it brings the dollar down significantly. It's still going up now as we wait for the news to be released. Hang on. I can't get the minute time frame. Okay, 8:30 now. What's the number? Hey, where is it? You can see the dollar retrace or coming back down, but not a big downward move. So I think that it is around that number. So it's a minus 1.4%. Okay, this makes it a little bit different, but minus 1.4% for advanced GDP quarter on quarter coming from the US is likely to move it back down, but I don't think it will be something that would bring it below this 103 level. So I think we might see it retrace, maybe towards 103.33, and then bounce back up again. It's just too strong towards the upside, so I would be a bit hesitant to say that it would be a big retracement. All right, so this is a bit of a surprise. US advanced GDP quarter on quarter was 6.9%. Expected 1.1 came out at a minus 1.4%. Right, so we see it coming back down. Put a level there at about 103.30. Let's see whether it's going to retrace. I don't think it will do something similar to that. I would like to see it do something similar to that because it will give us a very good opportunity to trade. It comes all the way back down before pushing higher or something like that, where it hit 100, came all the way down to 99 and pushed back up again. If it does come all the way down towards 103, I will look for it to bounce back up, create buying opportunities. Or if it comes all the way down to 102, I think that would be a bit too significant. So with that, looking at the Aussie dollar, see, so this is why I don't, that retrace is good, but I don't think it's going to be too exciting. It's because now as we see the dollar retrace, losing a little bit of strength, we see the Aussie dollar pushing back up again, right? The Aussie dollar pushing back up again. Why I say that I would like to see a bigger retrace on the US dollar is because if this pushes back up, I don't think it'll get to 0.7159, but it'd be nice if it did. Then turn back down, then I'll be looking for selling opportunities. What I've been sharing with you all in the club last night was that with everything dropping so significantly, everything at a very low point, I'm a bit too worried about trying to sell it, to keep selling it down. Just not sure how far down can it go. So Aussie dollar right now, H1 time frame, what I would be looking for is how high can it go? How much upside can it go, right? Before trying to sell it back down again. Obviously not a trade idea for right now, but I would say that if it can come up towards that 7138 level, currently at 7096, if it can go up, turn back down, then that would be one trade idea there. Again, 30 pip stop loss, 30 pip take profit level towards the downside, or you can go as far as 50 pips towards the downside, but you need to wait for it to move up and turn back down again. Checking the 15 minutes on the Aussie dollar, right? It's got some way to move. It's either going to move towards that point and turn back down, or that level. So at about 7120, same idea as well. If it can go up above 7120 and turn back down, then you have that selling opportunity below 7120, about there. Again, 30 pip stop loss. Oops, 30 pip take profit, still within the recent low points as of today. All right, so there can be two trade ideas there. One, if it goes significantly up, turn back down, sell. If it goes up a little bit, turn back down, you can still look to sell. Doesn't even look like it's going to move that high. If it breaks past this point, then you can also look to sell as well. So it's still all in that selling idea, but it's just how much is it going to retrace by before we look to sell it down. Why I'm only looking to sell it down, quite straightforward, because of that trend towards the downside. All right, so New Zealand dollar next. I'm just going to open one more chart just for the dollar index, just so that we can keep referring to it. So dollar index retraced, hit that 103.30 level, almost there. Now bouncing back up again. So that's why we want to see what happens, or that's why we see everything retracing a little bit. Kiwi dollar, I hope you saw my comments in the platform when this just then at about 1 hour, 2 hours ago. So about 2 hours ago, I was saying that yen aside, New Zealand dollar looks like it's primed for more downside. So I was looking at this point, the Kiwi dollar at this point. I was saying that, hey, if it breaks below this level, looks like prime for more downside again. If you did see that, then that would be that trade where, again, it was very close to that 30 pips. Or if you actually just set a 30 pips take profit, you would have hit the take profit and got out as well. So 30 pip take, 30 pip stop is the new thing that I'm trying to encourage you all to do, right? So that's the trade idea there. At this point right now, with the dollar index dropping and bouncing back up, what I think is likely to happen is that it's already shot up, it's retracing back down. What you should be looking for moving forward, a little bit different than the Aussie. Aussie, we're looking at a big retrace before selling back down. I would say for the Kiwi dollar, what you could be looking for is if it breaks below this 6465 level. So if it breaks below this 6465, you could go a little bit differently here. 50 pip, 60 pips take profit, 30 pip stop loss, a 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the downside on the Kiwi dollar, given that it breaks below this recent low point, this 6465 low point, right? So Aussie dollar, so this is how you mix and match your trade setups a little bit. Aussie dollar, wait a little bit more, let it bounce back up before selling back down again. Kiwi dollar, looking for it to bounce all the way towards 6540 might be a little bit excessive. So I would say, okay, let's see whether we can have something quite quick. If it turns back down from this point, can I sell it down? Right? well, with the dollar index just moving like that, it just throws all my analysis out the window, because just before the news, it was all like, hey, we could be looking to sell across the board on further downward move with dollar strength. But right now, everything seems to be retracing before looking to sell down again, right? So looking to retrace before selling back down again. Dollar still retracing, still pushing towards that 103.30 level. So we should be seeing everything retrace. Euro dollar, again, this out just then I was saying that, could check it out 2 hours ago. So at that point, as it was looking to break past yesterday's low point, today's low point, as it was looking to break, I said, hey, can we look to sell the euro dollar down? What happened is, well, it did move down, and right now it's bouncing back up again. I would, in the medium term, I would say that euro dollar looks to be moving lower, especially if it can break and stay below 1.05, right? So I was actually quite keen if just then this H1 candle would close below that point. We'll see massive downside on the euro dollar, but now that it's bounced back up, I think that it's going to be a wait and see. Again, if we see the dollar strengthen back, then look to sell down only if it breaks below 1.05. 30, 50, 60 pip, this level, why that 30 pip take profit and 30 pip stop loss idea for now is because, your support and resistance levels, like for the euro dollar, is so far away. It was back in 2017 that it broke below this 1.05 level. So you can have support lines at this point here, and ultimately at those few points there. But because it's so long ago, I'll be very careful with that. I would say that's why I started taking on the approach of 30 pip stop, 30 pip take. Let's see where can it push towards. So if it breaks past that point, I would say 30 pip to 60 pips, take profit, stop loss, keep it tight as it breaks below that support level. 30 pips or 1:2 risk-reward ratio towards the downside for the euro dollar. Okay. What will be interesting is if the euro dollar pushes quite significantly higher. A bit unlikely, but I think that the euro dollar is a only sell idea. It's an only sell idea. I wouldn't be looking to buy it up at all. If wherever it moves up towards, then I'll look to sell it back down again. All right. Dollar index bouncing back up, so that's good. Pound dollar. Right, pound dollar we spoke about on yesterday. Both short-term and longer-term trades. Short-term made money, longer-term didn't retrace as much as we thought before pushing lower. Pound dollar, I like it in the sense that there is some levels there, but it looks like it's pushing back up again. Same thing I was sharing with you all, pound dollar 2 hours ago, look to sell as it was breaking those points. So for me, I look at immediate support levels, like very near support levels. If it breaks, then we can look for that downward move. And that was actually a very good trade. I was going to jump into that, but I was looking at the yen as well. So today was really should I focus on the yen and ignore everything else, or try and do too many trades? Started having to plan my trades, starting to pick and choose which trades to jump into. This point now for the US, for the pound dollar, I would say let it bounce back up. It looks like it's bouncing back up. I don't think there'll be a trade this hour. I don't think there'll be a trade next hour. Maybe a 10 o'clock trade, look to sell down again towards the downside. If it gets resisted by this 1.2488 level, right? So stop loss, 30 pips. This one I would say 40 pips, 40 to 50 pips stop loss there. Take profit. I wouldn't go 160. I'll say you can do 160 and then close out anywhere in the middle for the pound dollar, but this shouldn't be a long-term kind of trade that you'll be looking for, right? Pound dollar at a very low point as well. So coming back to my favorite for today, got resisted. So US yen, we're looking for it to break above that 131 level, got resisted because of that dollar weakness, pushing back down again. At this level, you know that any consolidation on the yen is a good thing, especially if you're only looking to buy it up, right? If you're only looking to buy it up, consolidation for it to push higher. This case, you could even, I would even suggest putting your take profit at 60 pips there, pending order or something that you want to execute. 60 pip take profit, 30 pip stop loss. Let it consolidate. Once it breaks up, you'll see that big upward move. So US yen still holds. Euro, not that. Euro yen. Euro yen was a very good one we spoke about today. Very safe trade, right? So this morning, again, when the news was released, it pushed up, right, as we were talking about it. And because it was so near towards that 136 or 137 level, my suggestion at that point was, hey, it's too late to enter there to try and make that few pips towards 137. Only look for it to break above 137 before you look to buy. So that was a idea to buy at 137.19. 36 pip stop loss, 90 pip take profit level. It came as close as 81 pips before turning back down again. So I was really happy with that trade. I was in the US yen already, so I didn't jump into the Euro yen there. At this point again, with the Euro dollar sitting across, pushing a bit. I was trying to remember what Euro dollar is doing. So sitting across at this point, looks like it might be pushing back up or testing that 1.05 level, right? As it's testing that level again with the Euro yen, that big move towards the upside is because of how the yen was moving. So I think that we're likely to see the Euro yen turn back down a little bit, or it's already turned back down, or continue a little bit more towards that 137 level. And I would say if the US yen pushes higher, you can make that decision, either the US yen up or the Euro yen to push towards the upside as well. I would say that if you're not super experienced, then look at the US yen alone, but the Euro yen does have that potential to push up, and it's also because it's tested this 137 level. So test and bounce that H1 trade there, or test and bounce again, you could be looking for a similar or repeat of this move that happened this morning or this afternoon there. Okay, pound yen. So pound yen, great trade we had. I did actually jump into this trade. So right after that call, I had that trade on pound yen. It pushed up. I think I only had 100 pip take profit on that. About that 136, 163.50 level on that trade there. So it didn't move all the way towards there for me. But it went up, hit that take profit level, hit that resistance of 163.86 level, and turned back down. I would say that if you missed that trade on pound yen, stay out. With that move on the pound yen, I think we're going to see further downside. Also because looking at the pound dollar, with that push lower, I don't think we're going to see pound dollar push any higher, more likely to turn down. And because of that, with the US yen sitting across, or even if it does push up, then you have the US yen pushing higher, you have the pound dollar pulling it lower. The pound yen is likely to, I was going to say likely to sit across, but it's more likely to sit across and then turn back down. So I would stay away from the pound yen at this point. Not a right place to be buying or selling because it's right in the middle. This was a trade because of the news, but without news, to buy it up towards that point, a stop loss of 100 pips would be a bit too ridiculous. If we try to tighten it, too ridiculous there, or to sell it down, stop loss and take profits won't make sense. So I would not look at the pound yen at this point. It looks like the US yen is moving, pushing back up. So I can tell you that the focus for today will be the yen pairs. Look at the US yen to push higher. Look for the US yen to push higher. So a question, why is Euro yen a better buy than US yen since Euro is weak? Okay, good question. So look at the US yen. If it breaks above this 131 level, we're likely to see that big push towards the upside, right? And then euro dollar, right? It's been coming down, it's testing, it was testing and trying to break below that 105 level, likely to move lower, but you can see that a lot of indecision at that point. So when we look at the euro yen, it's a good buying. Is because with the euro dollar sitting at that close to that 105 level, it's a real decision point at 105. I don't think we're going to see it drop massively. It's going to drop, but it's probably going to take some time to move lower. And then with the US yen, if it does break above that 131 level, then we're going to see the US yen pull the euro yen up, right? I don't think it will go all the way up there. I think it might come back to around that point, that 137.85 level before turning back up. And also that it's come down, well, it's gone up, turned back, retraced, and it's bouncing off a support level. So I like it where it's gone up, bouncing off a support level to push higher, US yen pushing it up, and then the euro dollar with potential downside, but it needs a lot of push to bring it lower from this 105 level, right? And you can see that not a lot of news or no news to be had for the euro dollar at this point. There was also another line somewhere that triggered a question about how low can the euro go. Okay, I can't find it, but yeah. I hope that answers your question there, Vernon. Then Uscad. This is something that was very interesting. That we were looking at, but it's also at that point, right? So we were talking about this on Tuesday night. For it to push, well, Tuesday night was here. We were looking for it to push above that 1.2770 level towards the 1.28, and after a couple of days, now it's at 1.2865, looking to see whether it's going to go towards the 1.2920 level. I would be very careful with the US CAD at this point. I like that retrace, but I think that it's right in the middle of the space. I would like to actually see the US CAD push back down towards 1.2850 before looking to buy it back up. So that was that first trade opportunity. Break above 1.2850, look to buy it up. And this point right now, I think that with the way the dollar just moved, I would like to see it track down, bounce back up before looking to buy. So this would be a bit of a not right now kind of trade or potential future trade. You could have your 20, 30 pip stop loss and your 50, 60 pip take profit level towards the 129.20 level, or almost 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the upside. But I would look for it to track down, bounce, and then buy. At this point, if it turns up, then it's a little bit tricky. So if it turns up and you're looking to buy, say about 1.2880, then your stop loss and take profits don't make sense. It's a 1:1, but 1.29 is just so close. It's just all over the place. So I would rather it turn down, look for it to bounce, and then buy. All right. I forgot Euro Pound. All right. So Euro Pound, we spoke about it on Tuesday and Wednesday during the currency call. Had both trade ideas as it was reacting to this 0.8468 level. But what happened? It broke downwards. So we were looking to say, hey, if it breaks up from this point, you can look to buy. If it breaks down, you can look to sell. So it didn't break towards the upside. It turned down. We sold it down. At this level, stay away from Euro Pound. It is pushing higher. Why is it pushing higher? It's because of the pound dollar, right? It's because of the pound dollar dropping. That's why we see the Euro Pound pushing up. Actually, pound dollar is getting quite interesting there. What you could also be thinking about, short-term trade. This would be a short-term trade is I wouldn't go too big. I'd say 30, 40 pip stop loss, 60, 70 pip, 80 pip take profit level, or 1:2 risk reward ratio. If in the next 5 minutes it can close lower, it can close as a red candle, fantastic selling opportunity there. All right, look at the dollar index there. Shot down, tested that 1.103.30 level, bounced straight back up, and this is all in spite of a minus 1.4% on the GDP quarter on quarter. So we see now dollar coming back to strength again. So straight away, dollar coming back to strength. Check my US yen. Hasn't broken above 131 yet. Still not ready to buy. Not going to worry about it for now. Aussie dollar turning lower, right? So these two trades are now invalid. Oh, which means New Zealand dollar is actually doing very well. So that was the trade we were talking about on the Kiwi dollar to sell down. So now it's broken past that point already. You can, in 4 minutes, I would suggest in 4 minutes later, then with the candle closing like that, hey, I would go for a sell down towards that 0.64 level, but do your own analysis with any trade ideas. But I think that if you can close in 3 minutes down like that, we can see further downside on the Kiwi dollar. So deciding between the Kiwi dollar and the Aussie dollar, it both looks very similar. If you don't like the Kiwi, you can look to sell the Aussie down if it closes like that. But Aussie, I'll be a lot more careful and apply that 30 pip stop, 30 pip take towards the downside if it closes like that below 7073. Okay, so everything seems to be dollar strength again. Everything has reversed. Aussie and Kiwi done. Euro dollar pushing lower, not really decided yet. So even if in 2 minutes this candle closes like that, still indecision, I wouldn't be looking at it yet. Pound dollar. tracking lower. So I like that trade. I like the idea on the pound dollar, especially if you can close a little bit lower some more in 2 minutes. I'm just a bit surprised that US yen has not broken up yet. It might be it. That might be it for the US yen for today, maybe, or maybe later into the session. So don't try and force any trade. It's not going to move because you enter. Wait for it to move before you enter. Euro yen tracking back down. So I want to see it turn down, bounce back up before looking to buy. Pound yen still doing that. So similar to what the pound is doing, pushing a bit lower, not too much. Uscad, not doing anything at all. So I think right now, because of the way the dollar is trying to get towards that 103.80 level, pushing up again, I would say that the immediate opportunities are Aussie and Kiwi dollar. I'm a bit surprised that the US yen hasn't triggered yet. Secondary would be pound dollar. So the first two trade ideas would be Aussie and Kiwi. Pound dollar, oh, it's turned a little bit green, doesn't like moving lower. So, be very careful with that. Aussie dollar, looking good. I hope you're taking notes on which pairs to look out for. This could be some good trades for tonight. Look at Kiwi dollar if you haven't already. That was a good trade. 1 hour candle close, in the money. Decide whether you're going to get into that trade or not. I'm still stocking the yen, which hasn't done anything. So I might take a break on the yen and actually be quite keen on the Kiwi dollar to move lower, even if it's just a quick 30 pips towards the downside. It's going to bounce a little bit at the start of the hour. It usually bounces a little bit at the start of the hour, but then we can might see further downside there. Dollar index still closed, well, dollar index closed pin up. Looks like it's moving higher. That's why I wouldn't be too concerned about the Kiwi dollar bouncing a little bit at this point. Bounce to move lower, fair enough. With that said, any other questions? Give me a wave if it's all good. Give me a thumbs up if it's all good. Super. All right, so with that said, if you have no other questions, I'm going to call an end to the session just so that I can jump into some trades as well. If you have any trade ideas, you got any questions, you have anything that you want us to help you analyze, put it into the club platform. We'll be there to look at some trades together with you. Right, with that said, tomorrow is Friday, so we'll be looking at CAD and some cryptocurrencies during the currency call. Remember that on Monday, Tuesday, no currency call, and on Tuesday nights, next Tuesday night, no club session as well. With that said, take care, trade well, trade safe. See you on the club platform. Bye-bye now.